Happy Mother's Day. That is really nice. I don't need my light on this morning. I've got lots of sunshine coming in the window today. Just a very quick online today, though, because my son and his wife just let me know they're coming for a visit, which would be really nice, which, of course, we're allowed to do now. No hugs for Max, but at least I get to see everybody. All right, animal spirit to start with. We're going to sort of shuffle them right up here so you can all see what I'm doing. Oh, that one wants to come out. I have the card of Stingray. The Stingray. So let's just find that in my book. Oh, straight to it. Oh, don't you love it when a plan comes together? Okay, the Stingray. This is about developing confidence, a sense of self, or a spine. Interesting. The Stingray card represents a pivotal point in personal growth. The moment has come when the Stingray must decide between the old, which is easy, comfortable, and familiar, and the new. Hey, Melissa, how you going? Happy Mother's Day to you all too. I don't know who has children, who doesn't, but it doesn't matter. You can still have a happy Mother's Day. This is about deciding between the old, easy, comfortable, and familiar, and the new, the challenging, uncomfortable, and unfamiliar. Pressure from family and friends makes the decision more complicated. No matter what choice is made now, it's inevitable that this dilemma will surface again and again as the force of Dharma growing within the Stingray is too strong to ignore. So this is about wanting to grow and wanting to expand. And I guess that once you get that urge to do that, it's very difficult to stay where you are. So I think a lot of us experiencing that moment. Holy dooly, you did too. Happy Mother's Day, Sarah. I posted something for you yesterday, but I don't think you saw it. But what's his name out of... oh my goodness, he's been doing those at home concerts, and he had Chris from Coldplay on there. And I found it yesterday, and I remember you saying you liked Coldplay. So you have a look out for it. All right, we're doing a Wisdom of the Oracle. Oh, that one. Okay, beautiful. We got blessed. Oh, I like these readings already. Hey, Gigi, happy Mother's Day. I know you do. And I remember you saying that. And then I saw the guy out of Robbie Williams' old band, Take That. The guy from Take That's been doing these little musical concerts on Facebook. And he had Chris on there yesterday. And I thought, oh, I better highlight you there. Yeah, the Dharma. Yeah, see, it's time to grow, Hayley. You can't sit and wait for it anymore. You've got to really put in effort to start your growth now. I think most of you have anyway, right? So I actually have the card of 22 today, and I think we had 33 yesterday, which is very interesting. So we have the card of blessed or blessed, however you prefer to pronounce it. So the essential meaning of this card is something wonderful that is unearned and unexpected. Grace that is an unforeseen gift from spirit. There are moments in life when out of the blue it seems that everything has been orchestrated by divine intervention. You feel blessed in ways that are difficult to express. It's as if the Red Sea parts in front of you and events come together to banish your troubles easily and naturally. You know deep down you did not deserve any of it, and yet here you are. This is one of those times. Let awe and gratitude for your blessings guide you now. That's really beautiful. So it sounds like because you're putting in the effort to expand, that you're going to find that the universe is going to give you blessings. So it sort of feels to me like the effort you're putting in is going to bring rewards. Hey, Jillian, how you going? Well, that's why I thought I was going to have a nice Mother's Day by myself, which would have been fine. Didn't worry me at all. And then my son sent me a message and said they are coming to visit. So we can have visitors now if you're not in Australia, if you're in New South Wales. But you still got to have social distance. There's no cuddles and kisses or anything. Hey, Susan, happy Mother's Day to you too. So that's very interesting. So I had a really quiet night last night. I had no messages come through, so I've got nothing to share with you today. But I did have a dream again. So I'm having these really weird out there dreams. Hey, Katerina, how you going? Happy Mother's Day to you too. Very weird dreams. I don't know, is anybody else having these really very vivid dreams, and they're bizarre, like really bizarre. Like my dreams are bizarre. Okay, this makes bizarre look ordinary. The dreams I'm having at the moment, very, very strange ones. After the dog on my back the day before, and I have to go and look them up too because a lot of the time, um, I don't actually know what they mean. You're having them too. Yeah, it's something to do with the full moon. The one I had last night was really, really gross. But when I went and looked it all up, and I won't describe it to you, but when I looked it up, actually was a really, really good dream, which seems to happen in your dreams where you dream these really happy Mother's Day, Maria. Um, you have these dreams that seem really quite gross, disgusting, whatever, weird, and then you go and look them up, and the meaning is like, incredibly good things. And you're like, how can that happen? My dream was really disgusting. And yet it means such good things for me. And I loved it. It just talks about reward, financial gain, all of these sort of things. And I'm like, well, that wasn't what it was like in my dream. In my dream, it was quite gross. So I don't know. It's really bizarre how your dreams do that. But very, very, I'm having some beautiful dreams about things coming in, support from the universe, spiritual help, new gifts coming through. So I think that's wonderful. Not quite sure what they are. I don't think that they are decks of cards, though. I think they're talking about sort of the woo-woo stuff. But definitely very weird. So if you're having dreams, please share them because I'd be very interested to see what everybody else is sort of experiencing. It is definitely very odd. So we would have a few people missing today because they would be spending time with their families. A lot of you wouldn't be able to, I guess, because you wouldn't be able to travel at the moment. They keep talking about sort of lifting the restrictions, and then I look at these countries that have trialed releasing restrictions, and the numbers for the virus have just skyrocketed. So I think they're going to be much more cautious now. Some of them have put the restrictions back in again. Somewhere experienced a huge rise in numbers. That was quite, I think it was Switzerland or something, which was quiet before, and now they've got a huge problem because everybody just went mad. So it's really difficult for them to manage going back to how it was. And I really think I think they're going to go backwards and forwards, Gigi. I think, that's a different dream, Susan. Okay, that's a very different one. I wonder what that means. Did you go and have a look it up to see what it meant? Sarah, you don't really remember your dreams. I speak to people like that say they don't remember their dreams. That's a good thing. It means that you're going into deeper sleep. Because I have a Fitbit, and they tell me it's not 100% reliable, but I have very little deep sleep. I tend to sort of only have, sometimes I've only had 5 minutes deep sleep on a whole night. Sometimes I might have an hour, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe you just sleep better, sleep deeper, which might not be a bad thing. Okay. You dreamed you were on a fishing boat and had masculine energies around and a dog. So you had a dog as well. We were all socializing on the deck and having a great time. The dog apparently represents spiritual support. So I didn't think that. Joanne doesn't remember her dreams either. Can I say to you, they're not always great. Don't be too worried about them. They are really weird at the moment because of the moon. Yeah, I think so too, Maria. I think this is going to be very, very much a case of us still taking personal responsibility. There were people that they released the restrictions just a little bit and everybody went out partying. They had nightclubs and things like that. It was crazy. So it serves them right for going so silly, but it's horrible. And I agree it's horrible, but we're not going to get rid of it by spreading it around so quickly. I mean, inevitably, most of us are going to have it in the end, but we need to do it gradually because they're not going to be able to manage it in our hospital system, and then they'll start picking and choosing who they save, which won't be very nice. You can hear someone call your name or knocking at your door. Hey, Crystal, how are you going? Yeah, the calling the name thing is very much is very spiritual if you hear someone calling your name. That's quite, yeah. I've always had really, really vivid dreams for as long back as I can remember. My daughter does and her daughter does, so we often talk about them because they were so weird. Last night you were standing in the bottom of an empty pool. That actually sounds really symbolic, doesn't it? Really symbolic, the fact that it was empty. That's a bit bizarre. Maybe you need some more love in your life, Hayley. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, Sarah, we were talking about that the other day too, that we hear our name called really loudly and we look around and there's nobody there. Even in the daytime, I get it even like walking out and about, and I've often turned around and thought, who's calling me? And there's been nobody there. You're okay in Holland. So Holland's still managing the numbers well over there by the sounds of things. Yeah, there's a couple of countries that were going really well and they released restrictions and they've now had big outbreaks, which would be a good theory if we were managing the symptoms, but nobody's really prepared for a lot of people getting sick and it's extremely contagious. I read somewhere the other day it's actually not as bad as the SARS virus was, but the SARS virus was quite difficult to catch. This one anybody can catch, so it's pretty crazy. Yeah, I dream in color. I can read in my dreams and I can smell in my dreams. So I have very, very vivid dreams. I have confusing things though. Like sometimes people will say they're somebody in particular, but I won't recognize them, or it'll be someone's face I know, but they'll be saying they're somebody completely different. So I do have really sort of weird things happen, but I really remember my dreams when I wake up. So I often think, oh, something will stand out for me and I'll go and look it up because I think that was what I was meant to know. So I usually find something sort of, I don't know, it's more evident, maybe that's the way to put it. So I'll go and check it out and see what it is that spirit is trying to tell me through my dreams. You know what? The hairdressers have never closed here, Crystal, which is really odd. We were laughing about this the other day. So people could still have their hair cut here, but we can't get our nails done. These are all the weird things that government decide that really do not make any sense whatsoever. So the schools are open, but the kids' parks are closed. They're all cordoned off everywhere. The hairdressers are open, but yet the beauticians aren't allowed to open. So there's all sort of really weird things. And that's what somebody posted something the other day, and I had a little bit of a chuckle to myself because it sort of talked about, those sort of, I don't know what you call them, idiosyncrasies, weirdness, whatever you'd like to call it, where the virus is only choosing to do certain things. Like, doesn't make any sense at all. 11th of May seems to be a date around the world at the moment, and schools are all opening some classes on the 11th of May. Now, funnily enough, that's in Germany as well and in Australia. So why they picked the 11th of May, I have no idea. Would have been better for me to see countries stagger. So, we do this, you do that, and we'll see how we go. We'll report back and we'll see how we're working with that. But as I said, there's a couple of people they've relaxed, a couple of countries where they've relaxed and the virus has gone crazy. So I just hope our governments, I guess they're taking on all of that information. Kids going back to school, which if you've got a lot of children, it's very difficult to. Hey, Jess, how you going? Thank you. Oh, that was beautiful. Thanks, Jess. And to you too, if you're a mother, but if you're not a mother, you can still have a happy Mother's Day anyway. Everybody can have a happy Mother's Day because you definitely mother someone in your life anyway. Even if you have a dog, because we still mother our dogs, right? So happy Mother's Day. We're just talking about stuff. It's absolutely glorious here. I didn't need, as I said, I didn't put the light on this morning. I've opened the blinds because it's so sunny. You're very welcome, gorgeous. It's just absolutely beautiful outside today. But as I said, I've been talking I don't know who was on. I thought it was going to be, I was just going to be at home today and everybody just sort of send their happy Mother's Day messages through. And then my son sent me a message. I don't get to see my son and my daughter-in-law quite so much. Because of the fact that they're both working at the moment. Oh, that's terrible, Susan. Yeah, they've lost a few children around the world, haven't they? Which is really sad because people used to think that children weren't catching it, but they are. They're getting more complications, I think, which is really sad. So my son rang this morning, sent me a message this morning, said they were popping in to see me for Mother's Day. So I'm only going to stay on for a little while. In fact, I think it's only been 15 minutes. I can stay on for another 15. And then I'll catch up with you all another time. I've got the groups all organised starting first week in May and first week in June, and to run on a Saturday. They'll run at 1 p.m. Australian time. So you'll have to see how you go with that. I might change it for the next lot of groups if we have any trouble, but I don't think we're going to. I think that sort of seems like a fairly good time for most places. I'm only taking 10 into the group. So once the group's filled, you'll be put into the following group. And I'm going to run the 4 groups consecutively. So we'll do that for a couple of months and make sure that everybody gets an opportunity. I'm going to keep the price down to $50 for the group. So if you can afford $50, I think it's quite reasonable. Entirely up to you whether you pay that or not. The 4 things that I worked out was I was going to do a beginner's tarot, an introduction to tarot, the abandonment, the abandonment, attachment, and releasing yourself from relationships was going to be one. I'm going to do a psychic awareness one and try and help you raise your psychic awareness. And for the 4th one, I don't know whether I wrote it down here or... No, I did have a 4th one. Anyway, so I'm going to run them every Saturday for 2 months and see how that goes, and then I'll change and adapt. Obviously, the tarot and the psychic development, we probably can take deeper levels on those. So, hey, Moira, how are you going? We can sort of take down to deeper levels on those, but you can just... Oh, okay, Moira, all I'm doing is once I've put the classes up, you can just email me and tell me your interest, and I can tell you what date I got you in for. Once I've reached the 10, though, I won't take any more, and I'll just put you in for the next one. So if you don't want that, if you don't want to do that, then no, it's not on my website yet, Shishi. I'm going to put it under, I'll put the notice under my videos on YouTube when I'm ready. So I just put the dates up. You just email me and tell me what dates you want. I'll put your names down, and then once we get to 10, that group will close, and I'll just run the group again the following month, and we'll just see how that goes. Because I think that some of those classes may change. Once people have sort of done the first level, they might want to have something more complicated or more complex. So let me know anyway. And the reason I'm keeping them to 10 is most of the time on here, we have somewhere around about 20 people, and we still hold a really good conversation. But I feel like if we can just keep it to 10, then you guys can have more input. Once I'm ready to go, what I'll do is, and you've paid your money, so I'll send you something to pay your money, an invoice. And then once the group's confirmed at 10, I'll send you the invoice. If somebody's on a waiting list, or I've got no room in that particular group, then if anybody drops out, I'll let you know. I'll send you an invoice. Once all the invoices are paid, I'll then send out the link to the Zoom group. Make sure you're wearing your best clothes, please, because you're going to be on camera. But if we keep it to 10, then at least it can be quite intimate. So you can sort of feel comfortable talking about your stuff then. Hey, Scott, thank you. And a happy sort of Mother's Day to you too. Now is 20 to 1 now. So it'll be round about this time. If I run it at 1 o'clock on a Saturday, it will be just a bit 20 minutes past where we are now. So if that suits you, if it happens that I have people say they can't make that time, and I get a few people who say they can't make that time, what I might try and do is maybe make the next lot of classes slightly different. We'll see how we go. I'm sort of running it and just seeing how we get along with it all. Scott, that would be very, very nice. Thank you for offering. I thought somebody might come up with something like that. That's very sweet of you. But I thought I might do fancy dress. You're too funny. Hey, Annette, how you going? There, see, everybody's said thank you, Scott. Do you feel happier now that everybody's paid you attention? But yeah, as I said, I haven't used Zoom for. I have to buy a subscription so that we can use it for an hour and have 10 people on board. So I'm very excited about doing that. And you do like the attention. You're a funny boy. Yeah, so that's where I'm up to. So just basically, just quickly, I'll put it underneath. I'll put the dates underneath the videos on YouTube, but I'll announce it on YouTube first. So be watching for the announcement. I'll put up the dates. Email me at the email address I include and lock down what dates you want. You do not have to lock down all of the dates. That's not necessary. I'm not going to charge you like a subscription. I'm just going to charge you one off for each group. So you do what you want to do. I won't make you commit to any more than that. And then what will happen is you can email me, give me the groups that you want to be in. I'll fill the groups up to 10 and write back and tell you that you've been in this group, and you will be called, or you will receive an email for that particular date for that particular group. And then you'll get an invoice to pay me for that. Once all 10 people are paid, then I'll just send you back the link to the Zoom group with a confirmation. If somebody cancels out, then I'll probably keep a couple of people on a waiting list. So if you do come in after the 10, then I'll just let you know whether you're going straight into the next group or whether you can take the place of someone for the first group. Does that sound okay? 7:40 p.m. It's Saturday. It's perfect for you. Excellent. All right. I think it will be when I put into Google. Like I always say, Google's my best friend. I put in there, if it's 1 p.m., what is the best time in Australia to reach the majority of people, around the world nationally? It came back and said 1 p.m. So I think for some people it was quite early in the morning, and for other people it was a bit later at night, but the majority of people could get in that time. But as I said, what I'll do is if I have, a particular group of people who say it's just too late or too early or whatever else, then I may just adjust the next group to make sure that they get included as well. I'm only doing them for an hour, and they'll all be a particular topic. So what I will do is I'll let you know what, you can just have one of the groups. You only have to pick one. If you want to do all four, that's great too. But you only have to pick one. So you pick what you want to do. So people have asked me for tarot. So I'm going to do an introduction to tarot. I'm going to do an abandonment, attachment, and getting over relationships. I'm going to do, that's what it was. So I've done what you guys have asked for. So we've got tarot, abandonment and relationship recovery, psychic, like trying to get your psychic awareness up or trying to develop your psychic awareness. And the fourth one I put in, which lots of people ask me for, would be about meditation and your spirit guides. So we're going to work on how to contact your spirit guides. So a lot of people have been asking me that too. So I'm going to run those 4 groups over 2 months. And you can pick and choose. You might do one out of this slot and then do another one in the next 4, entirely up to you. But you don't have to lock yourself in for more than one. That's it. And the topics, then you might choose to do tarot in the first month and then do, psychic awareness in the second month. And once I gauge that and we have a bit of a feel out for what people want, once I've sort of exhausted those beginners groups, then I'll start doing some more deeper level stuff. So especially with tarot, because it's quite a big thing to learn, and I feel like you need to learn the basics, but then you'll want to dig deeper. So it's sort of like we'll do just the basics and then we'll get into it more intuitively. So I probably will have different levels of that as we're going. Psychic awareness, same thing, because we probably will broach that over into mediumship after a little while. So we'll see how we go. Hey, Erica, how you going? Can you wear PJs? I wouldn't do that. I have tracksuit pants on. I'm actually dressed today because I have visitors coming, but you can wear whatever you like. You just can't come naked, Scott, all right? Although if you're sitting down at your computer, I'm probably not gonna be able to see the difference as long as you don't get up like I had to yesterday and get cards. So you can wear what you please. I have no judgment whatsoever. You've seen my PJs. Yes, you have. But next time I'm going to be clever. I'm going to wear PJs that look like pants so you can't tell. I don't care. um, so yeah, so that's the plan. And I'll probably do that one day this week. So I will announce it on the What's Cracking so you know they're there straight away. And it's just we'll see how we go from there. And has everybody got any plans for Mother's Day? Because for some of you it will be tomorrow. It won't be today. Although I think it's quite beautiful outside. It's such a beautiful day for a barbecue. The light's amazing. Tom Spradling, how would you feel if Sarah and I sit through the same group, Sarah without an H? Okay, Maria, I'm going to suggest when we do the tarot one that everybody has a Rider-Waite deck. Now, I think the Rider-Waite personally is the easiest one to learn from. So there may be with some of the groups that I'll ask you to have a few things with you, mainly for that reason, so that you've actually got some tools. So when I send your confirmation out and you've paid, I'll send something to just say, please bring to the group these particular feelings. So it might be that I need you to bring, because of the psychic development one, we might need a paper bag, because I might get you to do some sort of feeling what other people have got in their bag, trying to work out that type of thing. So there might be some things I'll ask you to bring with you, and other groups where maybe just your pen and paper and to take notes. I think for some of you, you can tape on Zoom, but if you wanted to tape it, you could have your mobile phone close. But what I'll try and do is I'll see if I can tape a copy and just send it out to the people that have been in the group. But I don't know if I'm promising too much there, but I'll have a go at it. You're going to see your kids, Susan. That would be lovely. It's beautiful outside where you are too, is it, Gigi? Yeah, Rider-Waite's the best for learning, I think. When people ask me, I think, there used to be this whole thing about, you just buy what's good for you. But some of the decks are very complex. And even if they've not got really good pictures on them, I have to look at them sometimes because I'll think they're something else. Whereas the Rider-Waite is so clear. I mean, look, I've got the Cosmic Tarot here. The Six of Wands here is probably, pretty good considering how it is in the Rider-Waite. The world looks pretty good. Actually, this particular deck are pretty good. The only thing is they have Prince and Princess here rather than Prince and Knight. So it's probably good to go to the traditional cards just to understand that. If you don't have a traditional deck and you feel comfortable using another deck, that's okay too. But the symbolism on the Rider-Waite is very, very good for teaching. And I think that's fine, Tom, if you want to do that, and Sarah's okay with you doing that. I don't see a problem at all. You can just pay for one group, Joanne. So if you only want to do the tarot group, I'm only going to charge you $50 each to do the tarot group. If you want to commit to more of that in a month, that's okay too. But because I'm running them over 2 months, I thought that might help people money-wise to have them over 2 months. So it's entirely up to you. I'm not going to make you pay all at once. We'll just do one at a time, okay? So everybody can afford it. Yeah, I think that's the best way of doing it. You're seeing your mum for lunch, Scott. How beautiful. Somebody was doing a reading this morning and saying it was snowing in May and they'd never seen it where they were in the US. I can't remember who it was now. Might have been Soulful Revolution, maybe one of those readers. And I caught her this morning and she said that it was snowing really heavily where they were. So it's a little odd. The weather patterns are out of whack. We have these really, really strong winds here. Last night they were blowing a gale, and they are like August winds. So the sort of winds we get in August. So I think because we aren't sending as much pollution into the air, we're actually going to experience different weather patterns. It's also sort of weird because for a few days there it got really cold and now it's just quite warm again. So it's sort of all over the place with the weather at the moment. But anyway, yeah, so I'll give you some more instructions when I send them out. So please don't worry. I'll make sure I put it all in below the email, below my YouTube messages, and I will let you know on YouTube that I'm posting it. So most of you watch that. Oh, so you're in Ottawa in Canada. I actually have family in Canada. They're in Saskatchewan. That's the name of the place, isn't it? They used to live in Saskatoon in Saskatchewan, but they're all over the place now. The family's spread. So Ariel, Canada, Ontario, Canada. Yeah, so the weather patterns are really out of whack. Alrighty, I'm going to have to get going because I know very shortly I will get a buzz on my doorbell. Have a wonderful Mother's Day, and I will catch up with you all tomorrow. Back to work tomorrow. Yay! But anyway, I really enjoyed your company today. You're welcome, Scott. Have a wonderful. That is a mouthful, isn't it? Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. My uncle used to be a Mountie, or great uncle he is. Blazing hot in California. See me, I can do blazing hot, rather blazing hot any day over cold. Don't much like the cold. Have a wonderful day yourselves. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care and I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah.